Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're deciding to watch this. This is just a really short presentation that I would normally do in school, just for 5 or 10 minutes, just to give you a bit of an insight into Year 6 SATs. I know quite a few of you have been previously with siblings, so it's basically the same, but I'll just run through the slides and feel free to email any questions in that you feel you want answering if I don't cover it in this presentation. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Here we go. So Key Stage 2 SATs. So at the moment, the SATs are in May as usual, starting on Monday the 9th of May, which start with the English grammar, punctuation and spellings. So they would do the spelling paper first, followed by the SPAG questions, the grammar. The next day it would be the reading paper. That lasts for 1 hour, including the reading. Wednesday is the arithmetic, maths. Then we have a break, and then they would do reasoning paper number 1. And then Thursday it's reasoning paper, which is paper 3. And then that's it, done. So basically it's 1 hour. Monday is just a little bit over an hour with the spellings as well. And then that's it. So they just come in. We normally do a breakfast club, so they come for 8. So we just do toast, crumpets, juice, cereal, do a little bit of revision for whatever paper we're doing that day, do the paper, and then we sort of have free time for the rest of the day. So it is normally a really nice week. So that's the timetable, all done and dusted by 10:30 Thursday at the latest. The SATs papers cover all of the end of year expectations for Year 6. And if you just want to familiarise yourself again with those, they're on the school website under parents' information, end of year expectations. And that's what we're working through throughout the year. We've already started, we've covered about 7 of the maths end of year expectations so far. And we just keep at it. It's quite a busy year, obviously, as you know, and we do intervention to catch up. If the children haven't quite got the grasp of a concept on the day it's taught, we'll pick them up first thing in the morning, or they'll go out for intervention with either myself, Mrs. Willis, Mrs. Townsend, just to try and plug those gaps. We've got quite a few past papers now because this curriculum's been running since 2014. So I will test them once a term so that we've got a baseline where they're coming in at. We normally do it week 6 in term 1. I normally try to do it about week 6 every term, and then we can see progress as the year goes on, and then we can see where we need to, what areas we need to address with individual children. And there are other sites that have published similar type papers, and I've got quite a few of those, so we use them throughout the year as well. Okay, so this is quite a lengthy slide, and what I'll do is I'll make this a PowerPoint and make sure it's available to you at home as well. So basically all the children, the papers get sent away to be marked, and they get what's called a raw score. So for example, the reading papers out of 50, so they might get 27 out of 50, and that's called their raw score. So then the government collect all the raw scores, and then they produce a scaled score. And then the scaled scores are used to determine where your child sits, if they're in the working towards bracket, expected or greater depth. And there's a conversion table. I'm just going to click on the link here, and hopefully it will take us to the website so I can show you. Hopefully it'll come through. But what the government do is they issue a table. Every year it changes. So the raw score, here we go, I've got the reading. So as I said, the reading's out of 50. So this particular year was 2018 that I'm just showing you at the moment. So if you got 27 out of 50, you were working towards, because your scaled score was 99. So you have to be 100 to be expected. So this is where it's where it changes sometimes. The very first year that they did these this type of marking and scaling, you had to get 23 out of 50 to get a scale score of 100. But over the years, this has increased, and they've sort of like moved the goalpost. So what we do, so now as we're working towards the end of the year for the SATs, I will be saying you need to get 28, 29 out of 50 to get expected. And the government might, you know, depending on how the rest of the country score, the expected rate may lower. But if we aim for 28, 29, we know we're sort of like in the right area. To get greater depth, you need to get a scale score of 100, 110 or more. So this particular year, 2018, you had to get 40 out of 50 to get greater depth. And again, this changes. So we're always sort of looking. So if we're sort of working towards greater depth, we need to be really getting 41 out of 50. So to get expected, 28 out of 50. And you know, 27 out of 50 is still quite high. It's more than halfway, but that would class as working towards. So I hope that makes sense. And they're all different scores because the maths is out of 110. And I think you have to, if I remember rightly, you had to get 97 out of 110 to get greater depth. And it was about 80 out of 110 to get expected. But again, it changes. But the children will know what they're scoring and where they need to get for themselves to make the progress they need. Okay, so that's just sort of going through what I've just said. So working towards is less than 100 on the scale score. Expected is in between 100 and 109, and greater depth is 110 to 120. Okay, so the writing assessment is teacher assessed. And that's has to be submitted by the end of June. So at the moment, we're just looking at different genres of writing, scaffolded. So I'm saying to the children what needs to be put in, how to use direct speech, semicolons. After Christmas, so from January, we'll start writing independently at least once a week, so that we've got a bank of work that will go towards their writing assessment. So it is things like capital letters and pronoun, capital I. So they will be getting lots of feedback and marking up until Christmas, and then hopefully from there on they will apply that to their independent writing. So I can award, again the same, working towards expected, greater depth, PKF if they're not quite working at the Key Stage 2 level. Okay, and then anything else, any other questions that I can't answer, or if you want to have a read about SATs, if you just put in a Google search, Key Stage 2 SATs 2021, it'll take you to the gov.uk website, where lots of frequently asked questions and advice is on there. But please don't hesitate to send emails in to school. I will answer, I will give you a call. Don't be worried, we're always ready for it. This year's no different to any other. So I hope that's been of some use to you, and send an email in if you've got any further questions. And I'll hopefully see you all soon, but I will be speaking to you on Parents' Evening.